Have we ever told you what the definition of insanity is? Well, if you ever played a game called Far Cry 3, then you already know. And if you didn't, let us tell you. Insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again while expecting a different result. Unfortunately, that is exactly what ARNE is doing right now. Because in almost every game we play, we keep seeing the same idea when we defend, and we keep getting punished for it. It feels like he's trying the same thing again and again, hoping that one day it will suddenly work, even though the problems are right there in front of him. And you know what? The same thing happened again against Chelsea in this 1-1 draw at Anfield. Yes, we have talked about this before. Yes, we have pointed it out before. But when the same mistakes just keep on showing up in every big game, we simply cannot ignore it. Let's get into our match analysis, ladies and gentlemen. But first, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more. Now, before we dive into how Slot shot himself in the foot again, let us look at how we took the lead just 6 minutes into the game. And honestly, it is safe to say that karma was on our side for this one. Here you can see Szoboszlai getting ready to take a free kick from a really good distance. And knowing that he's already scored 5 goals so far this season, Chelsea's wall clearly did not want to give him a clean shot. So instead of staying behind the line, they tried to cheat a little bit by stepping forward. But even when Szoboszlai finally took the shot, you can still see some of them taking a few steps forward again to try and block it. But as we said, karma was on our side. The ball bounced back to Kerkez, who quickly found Rio out wide, and from there, our younger winger did really well. He took a few steps backwards to create that little bit of extra separation, giving himself more space and more time on the ball. Then with his quick touches, he started to cause Chelsea problems. He stayed calm, picked the right moment, and did brilliantly to find Gravenberch on the edge of the box. And Gravenberch made no mistake, scoring a great goal from outside the box to give us the early lead. 1 goal up after just 6 minutes at Anfield against a very poor Chelsea side with an interim manager, who literally has not even got his badges yet. And at that point, you would think we could take control of the game and maybe even turn it into a slaughter, right? Well, not if we insist on creating our own problems. Because as the minutes went by, instead of building on that goal and putting more pressure on Chelsea, we started to drop deeper and deeper into our own half. Little by little, we gave them more space, more time, and more belief, and that alone is already a problem, right? Well, sadly, it does not end there. First, notice the distances between our front three. There was no real compactness, and it did not look like there were any clear understanding between the players on when to press and when to hold their positions. The second issue was with our central midfielders and the way they were man-marking Chelsea players. Because when they followed their man, one of them, like Gravenberch in this instance, ended up dropping all the way into the back line. And why is that a problem? Well, because it created confusion between the centre-back and the right-back. Who is supposed to cover the running behind? Who is supposed to push on to the striker? Who stays in line and who steps out? The players looked like they had no clue what to do, and that is exactly where Chelsea kept threatening us. Cucurella makes the run in behind, Caicedo spots it, and then he plays the pass over the top. And honestly, we swear this exact same play happened at least 3 times. You don't believe us? Well, here are the 2 other moments where the same exact issue showed up again. Both Cucurella and Enzo found themselves completely free in behind, and it all came from Chelsea targeting the same weakness over and over again. So what did Slot try to do in the second half to fix this? Did he change his approach? Did he tell the players to put more pressure on the ball? Did he make the roles clearer so every player knew exactly what they needed to do? Well, no, none of that. Instead, he simply switched Frimpong and Jones, asking the Dutchman to defend Cucurella, while Jones moved into the middle to man-mark players there. But the problem is, this did not really fix the main issue. It only changed the players who were dealing with it. And what was the result? Chelsea scored a second goal that was luckily ruled out for offside. And the worst part is, they scored in the exact same way they had been threatening us all game long. Same space in behind, same confusion between the defenders, same lack of pressure on the ball. The warning signs were there from the first half, but instead of fully fixing them, we just made a small adjustment and hoped it would be enough. Now, to be fair, a lot of these moments also happened because of Jones's poor positioning. But can you really blame the lad? He has not had a consistent run of games, and when he finally does get minutes, because of injuries by the way, he gets thrown at right back, a position where he obviously is going to struggle defensively. And that is the frustrating thing with Jones. We only seem to remember his value when we are forced to use him, and we will probably only understand what we had once we lose him, because based on reports, it looks like he could leave this summer. And honestly, if that happens, it would not be surprising. In the second half, there was a short period of around 10 minutes where he played centrally before being dragged back to the right back position again. And during that spell, we actually saw a small improvement in our performance. We looked a bit calmer on the ball, there was more control in midfield, and Jones looked way more comfortable when he was allowed to play in this natural area. And guess what? He even started the move that led to the goal, which was unfortunately ruled out for offside. You can see here the same issues again, with our pivot players man-marking their opponents. Because once they followed their men, Enzo was left with all that space to arrive and receive the ball. And that is exactly the kind of space Chelsea were trying to attack all game. But this time, Jones came out of nowhere and stopped Chelsea from entering our defensive third, and he did not stop there. After winning it back, he showed his press resistance again, he stayed calm, took his player on, and did not panic under pressure. Then he quickly scanned the pitch, saw Frimpong making the run onto the other side, and played the switch at the perfect moment. From there, Jones kept going. He crashed the box, attacked the space, and was there to meet Gakpo's header. Sadly, the goal did not count because Cody was offside. But the whole move showed exactly why Jones can be useful when he is allowed to play centrally. So at the end of the day, this was not just about one mistake, one bad defensive moment, or a player being caught out of position. This was about a pattern we keep seeing again and again, and a pattern that keeps costing us points. Against Chelsea, we had the perfect start, we scored early, we had the crowd behind us, and we are facing a team that looked there for the taking. But instead of taking control, we slowly invited pressure, dropped deeper, and allowed Chelsea to attack the same spaces over and over again. And this is why the frustration with Slot is growing, because the issue is not that things go wrong, that happens in football. The issue is that the same things go wrong and we keep seeing the same solutions that do not fix anything. So yes, Jones had his moments. Yes, individual players made mistakes, but the bigger problem is the system, the instructions, and the lack of adjustment. But what do you think? Is Slot being stubborn, or are the players simply not executing his ideas properly? Maybe all of them simply gave up. Let us know your thoughts down there in the comment section below, and as always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more. One more thing before we go, we want to hear from you. What Liverpool topics would you like to see covered on the channel? We always want to provide the best content possible for our subscribers, so post your suggestions down in the comments. Thank you, we will see you in the next video.